Hey guys, it's Merrick, and I've got another gameplay commentary here today. In this one, I'm going to be playing BattleBit with the AK5C, and we're going to be playing on Salhan. This is actually a half-decent game with the AK5C, but I have a love-hate relationship with this gun. When it works well, it feels like it's borderline overpowered, but then it'll have moments where I'll try to take these longer-range shots, and they just don't agree with me because the horizontal recoil doesn't line up. So it's a little bit hit and miss, but I think overall it's a very powerful gun because when it does decide to cooperate and the horizontal recoil isn't too savage, the gun feels incredibly powerful and very usable at most ranges. I'm joining into an ongoing rush match, and when pushing on Salhan, it's very easy to get locked out if all of the opponents are looking at one place or another. One of the persistent problems with running into the low ground like this is you always have to be aware of your upper angles and where people can get free kills on you if you're not paying attention. The match progressed a little bit ahead of my commentary, so we're going to back it up again. I had to jump into cover because there was somebody from an upper angle that I wasn't able to take out, and then as I jumped into that corner, I actually heard somebody pushing up for me, so I was ready for him. He was looking at the staircase, which is a pretty normal place to look because it's kind of the only place I would be, and if he's cutting the pie as he enters, that makes perfect sense. But because I heard him, I was ready for him, and I was able to get the drop, so that I'm able to quickly heal myself up and then push up to the point. I jump into the farther low ground and run a little bit towards the cliff so that if anybody does want to peek out and see me, they have to commit further, and there's a higher possibility that somebody else will take them out or that I'll be able to respond and actually deal with them. But as I get up closer to the point, rather than just running to the point or past the point looking for enemies, I actually just take up a slightly defensive position and look at areas where I expect the enemies to be approaching from. That way I could try to get some ranged kills. A lot of kills that you can pick up are actually going to be in the distance, and people just aren't paying a whole lot of attention or just trying to get into the optimal range for their closer quarters weapons. So if you're able to get used to hitting longer range shots, you'll be able to increase the amount of kills you're getting without actually putting yourself at much more risk than you already do. Alright, we're going to pretend I didn't take a massive risk in that last play and get way out of position that I didn't have to, but now that I've kind of gotten myself into control again, I heal up, push back into the point, and I'm able to react and take somebody out on the side wall. I go to take some cover in the only place I really can, and this gives me an opportunity to res an ally at the same time. Never necessary, but always brownie points, and I don't see that nade and just die for free. I did see somebody on the bomb as I died though, so as I'm pushing up before I even get there, I try to huck a nade in. That way, even if I were to get shot immediately, I could try to kill the guy in the bomb. They got the defuse, but it's alright because I'm still alive and we can just get the replant. It's also worth mentioning that you see two people prone on top of the bomb there. That is absolutely unnecessary. So long as you can from above the waist see the bomb and are in the circle around the bomb, this giant gray circle in front of me, you can plant and defuse the bomb. So if you're outside this wall, but you have direct line of sight of the bomb and above waist height can see it, you can actually get rid of the bomb without actually being on the point. I feel like I need to explain this a lot because so many people don't actually make use of this, and then they wonder why rush pushing and defending can be so difficult. Some of the most difficult points to breach or take back are actually significantly easier if you're able to just position yourself in the circle, but out of a lot of the high-pressure zones. I'm sorry to ramble about this when I'm not actually planting, but it's a very important concept a lot of people don't seem to understand, despite the fact that the circle is very visible. They don't really seem to know what it's for or care about it. And that's fine, it's a very useful thing. You're going to get a whole lot of mileage out of it. Please, for the love of God, start using it if you're not. To this specific gameplay, though, I took up a position past the bomb between where the enemy spawned and the bomb was, and I was kind of just zoning out and looking around for kills. I'm not pushing up very far past this building. I was just lurking around here using this height advantage and the fact there's a lot of cover to keep this as a good defensive position. We are able to get the bomb to explode, and then I'm just cleaning up a few stragglers as we get ready to make the next push. After the fourth time of peeking out, seeing somebody, initiating a trade, and then having to heal and repair afterwards, I realized that maybe I'm not going to be able to get a whole lot done pushing through this angle. This would be a good angle if I wanted to just farm score, potentially bleed them out. I could hold this position and just keep killing people as they feed into me, but I actually want to go work on the objective rather than just sit here and farm people all day. While you could argue, and you would be somewhat correct, that killing people would remove pressure from the map and my teammates, just sitting there farming people and not actually playing on the objective just means that they can ignore me and get a stranglehold on the objective, and all the people that I'm killing here aren't actually making the point any weaker if my team isn't already able to crack it. And plus, if I go farm people on the objective, then they're guaranteed to come running to me. So I'm trying to get a position on the objective and figure out where they're coming from at the same time. I'm trying to take the angles slowly so I don't overcommit, and I can try to take these one-at-a-time fights, but somebody gets a flank on me and I gotta run back. I'm able to get an aggressive spawn on an ally, but as I'm trying to cut sight and make sure there's nobody on the bomb specifically, I tunnel vision too hard, don't see that guy in the window, and feed off a free kill. I intentionally push back to the same spot, and because I can see an ally is actually on site, I'm free to scan the windows and farther off places for more long-range kills, so I slowly peek this angle and try to keep up the pressure. I'm flashed as I have to reload, so I start to fall back, but seeing that I'm also wounded, I just have to take a few moments and reset before rejoining the fight. Because we have general control over the bomb and it is planted and I don't hear it being defused, I actually decide to stay in the farther back, in the mid-range here, by this doorway, taking shots, backing off and reloading, and rotating back out as I can. Eventually I get taken out, but by the time I get back, the bomb is done and we are just waiting to be able to push the next part of the map. When waiting to push up, you gotta make sure that you're not about to get flanked or that there isn't people lurking in the areas that you still have available to you. It's very easy to get complacent and think that you have a few minutes to basically mentally take your hands off the keyboard and relax for a second before you have to pick it up again, but that's very rarely the case, and often between being aggressive, taking the initiative, or just being proactive about scanning your surroundings, you would be surprised how often that will reward you with a kill or two that you weren't actually aware was there, and potentially sometimes just save your life. But I catch an RPG while pushing up, and while trying to spawn on teammates, I get spawned in no man's land. I get a little too greedy on a fight, and just eat another free death for no reason. But after that, I get past no man's land, I'm able to push up towards the bomb. I'm not exactly sure where the enemy pressure is, so I'm trying to be a little bit reserved, and I wind up face-checking someone in CQC. He was reloading, so it works out pretty well for us. I look down and see that we actually have the bomb, and then I move into a forward position to try to go screen for the enemy. At least that's the plan, but my dumbass didn't actually see this claymore, so I just eat another free death and have to do it again. But as I come back, basically same plan in mind, I'm still trying to push up past the bomb and screen, but it seems like the enemy team has finally shown up and they're not exactly happy about that idea. So I take a few kind of awkward engagements where I don't really manage to put anybody down, and then I have to reset before I try to push up yet again. I don't actually see anybody, and I kind of rotate around, I get lost and take a wrong turn. I think that this will go up to the building. It doesn't, so I actually go back around and go inside that way before I wind up getting hit on the flank by somebody who just happens to walk in the outside door at the perfect moment. He definitely heard me. It's just really unfortunate for me. I did actually also hear that guy. I just thought he was on the floor below me. As we're trying to push up, we actually haven't made it very far past this next building. I get in a fight in the hallway, and as I go to dump for cover and try to res his teammate, I have a miniature heart attack as my teammate tries to look over that balcony without promptly and proudly displaying his blue dot. What a fucking asshole. Definitely his fault and not mine. Anyway, I push back upstairs, manage to catch a guy on the entry, and then I try to push up and screen past the bomb. I'm on the second floor, the bomb's on the first floor. I could drop down, but I won't be able to get back up here, so I decide to take a defensive position, prevent the enemy from dropping down by holding this and applying a little bit of pressure out of this doorway at the same time. Also, from this position, I would be able to hear the bomb being defused and react to it accordingly. But that doesn't matter because I got flanked. So I push up and I try to get back into a similar position. This time I'm a little bit farther wide though, and I actually wind up getting a flank on a bunch of enemies outside of the door. I would have cleaned up all four of them, but a fifth one peeked out over the fucking rooftop and was able to take me out. Similarly speaking, as I'm pushing up after the bomb blows up, I am also taken out by a guy I wasn't expecting on the roof. Thankfully, my champion teammate is able to pick me up though. Unfortunately, I'm not able to convert it into anything else because even after a short reset, as soon as I walk back out there and take position, I get hit from somebody from behind and have to go back again.
You know, heroin abuser, I'm just happy to have you one.
I'm able to spawn on a teammate in the main city rather than having to cross that giant bridge, and I make a direct push towards the point. I don't see anybody, but I continue looking around, and I actually catch somebody who was holding off a point, and I'm able to get onto point before most of the enemy team, it seems like. There's already an ally on point planting, so as long as I can cover and keep him alive, that's good enough for me right now. I'm able to screen until the bomb gets planted, and most of the enemies seem to be coming from the west, meaning they're still trickling over from the last point, and between both bomb sites. So most of what I'm going to have to watch for enemies is going to be west and north, but if they do manage to sneak by, they could also show up from the east. So my best play here is to gain some height advantage, because then I don't die immediately if somebody does make it into the building. They have to make it up to my floor unless I misplay, and I'm going to continue rotating, looking through the windows, and just try to get picks from people not expecting me. I could potentially just hold a single window, but if I were to get one kill there, then everybody knows which window I'm at to pre-fire. If I continue to rotate around, then it's more difficult for them to react, respond, and predict where I'm going to be.
Thank you, boss. Appreciate you.
I don't manage to get that res, somebody else got it through the floor, but as I return to trying to screen people out, I'm able to get a few more through the window, but right, unfortunately, as I reload, an enemy comes pushing up, and despite the fact that the reload is over, I am not yet able to fire, and I just don't get to play the game. I'll let in-game Merrick express my opinions on this. Pull the fucking trigger, god damn it, the reload is so long! But as I make it back to point, I aggressively push in, I'm able to breach successfully, and I'm able to clear out a few people and re-establish a perimeter on the area. There's a kind of an awkward trade, and I don't know who would have won this, but the guy from the second floor manages to secure the kill and save my life. As I'm healing up, I hear more people from where that man came from, I try to push in and get him, and as I try to return to my position, I actually find somebody else on the flank. I get past that man successfully just to eat a random sniper shot from far off. Thankfully though, a champion teammate picks me up, and I'm able to clear out a few more people around here to bring us to 42 in 13 for the conclusion of this game. I very much like the AK5C. I can't tell if it's inconsistent in the long range because of an actual horizontal variable, or if it's just that I just happen to be inconsistent in the long range with it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you were able to get something from this video. Let me know what you do like, let me know what you don't like, let me know what you think so I can improve these going forward. Thank you guys for your continued support, and I will see you guys next time.